Avoided yet another downgrade to junk status by Moody's investor services. Last night, the agency cut the country's foreign and local debt ratings to Baa3 from Baa2, taking the nation to the lowest investment grade. It also maintained a negative outlook, which suggests that if its concerns are not sufficiently addressed, it could well downgrade the country to junk status in December. The country has another 6 months to address its issues before all three international ratings agencies decide on the country's rating again at the end of the year.
Low economic growth and the questionable sustainability of public finances were cited as key negatives for South Africa. And while usually in high praise of the country's institutions, these were also called into question this time around.
Now our institutions are being eroded, so they feel that that is one of the reasons that they are actually downgrading us, and I think that's something to worry about, because part of our biggest things has been, these institutions that are strong, from Treasury to the Reserve Bank, and legal institutions and the judiciary.
The country now has to do an introspection and pointedly address its challenges, primarily for the benefit of the wider population, as well as to avoid the possibility of further downgrades.
I think there are a number of policy issues that are outstanding, or the outcomes are very uncertain. We think of the long drawn out mining charter and NPRDA and a number of things like that. So I think the first thing is just to fix that and get certainty about where those policies are going. The second issue is the SOEs. So government's been working on this for a long time. We've been hearing about the programs and interventions. We now need to see that there are some actions taken to ensure that the SOEs become again viable on a standalone basis. So better governance, better business plans.
Only agency that's downgraded the country's local debt to junk. If another agency does the same, the financial and developmental impacts could be dire.
If both Moody's and S&P downgrade our local debt to below investment grade, we would fall out of certain bond indices. In other words, some of the international investors would no longer be able to invest in our bonds. That would mean immediate capital outflows, would just mean that we have less capital available to do all of the things that we would like to do. So specifically fund government's programs and then the SOEs and in general all of the infrastructure plans that we have on the table.
It's another 6 months before a further determination on the country by the ratings agencies. With growth cited as a key factor on their must-achieve list, urgent strides will need to be taken to pull the country out of recession. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.